So recently, there's been a lot of discussion regarding the Epstein files and, the current president, shit like that. And it's been a lot that's been going on through the last few weeks. So we're not really going to cover everything, but I'm just going to kind of give like a rundown of some of the stuff that I've seen, story overall, and just, there's just been a lot. So trying to condense it all down to one video. It's been a crazy month overall. So where this essentially started, like this latest round of talking about Epstein and Trump, began when new emails came out regarding Trump's connection with Epstein. So in this NPR article, it says Democrats on the House Oversight Committee released 3 new emails Wednesday morning from the estate of convicted sexual offender Jeffrey Epstein that mentioned President Trump, raising new questions about the extent of their relationship. Republicans on the House Oversight Committee later Wednesday released the latest set of more than 200,000 documents that include emails from Epstein frequently expressing displeasure with Trump and his presidency, financial market reports, and court documents from Epstein's cases. The more Donald Trump tries to cover up the Epstein files, the more we uncover, Oversight Ranking Member Representative Robert Garcia said in a statement. These latest emails and correspondence raise glaring questions about what else the White House is hiding and the nature of the relationship between Epstein and the president. In one 2015 email between Epstein and author Michael Wolff, the pair discussed a potential question from an upcoming CNN appearance from Trump and Epstein's personal ties. I think you should let him hang himself, Wolff wrote. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you, or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him generating a debt. And here we have the emails here. This was like one of the bigger ones, this first one in this article that got released, because it essentially just gave away that he definitely has connections to Epstein. I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Redacted spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. Then we have the other emails here. Another email Epstein sent in 2011 to Ghislaine Maxwell, his associate who has been convicted on trafficking charges, called Trump the dog that hasn't barked and said Trump spent hours at my house with one of the alleged sex trafficking victims. And again, just remember, Ghislaine is literally been like working with this current administration to like get a softer deal and shit like that. Like, it's insane. The fact that like it's so clear that they're trying to cover up this while also like, trying their best to help out their former buddies. Still another is a 2019 message between Epstein and Wolff in which the disgraced financier wrote that of course Trump knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. The email does not elaborate any further. And now that does correspond with the story that Trump has been running with in terms of, he only stopped being friends with Epstein because he was like poaching girls from Mar-a-Lago, which still is like a terrible story that paints him horribly, but nonetheless. Also, at the time of this recording, within this article, they talk about like how, the House Speaker Mike Johnson was able to delay the vote, in terms of like voting if they allow the files to get released. Obviously, that's long past now. They've been able to do so, but it does say a lot how much they switched up, the Republicans did, about releasing these files when they realized they had no other option but to do so. And let's see, here we go. And the reason why I think they're so willing to do it is because quickly after the new emails came out, Trump started to go after Bill Clinton and other Democrats who possibly have ties with Epstein. Now, here's the thing. I'm glad that if they go after them and, they find wrongdoing, like, I 1000% believe that Clinton had connections with Epstein. It's like, because it's so obvious, there's so many examples, but you could say the exact same thing about Trump, and he's only really doing this because he sees it as a distraction. Like, he knows that if he just can point the finger somewhere else, that it might work for him. And also, with this investigation into Clinton and other Democrats, it's going to allow them to retract any information that they want with the files, because they can always just go back and say, well, we're in the middle of an investigation into these people over their ties with Epstein, so we had to retract some things in order to help the investigation. And it's very obvious they're just going to retract everything that they want in order to make it seem like Trump had nothing to do with Epstein, while Clinton and, people like him did. And here's the thing, again, I have no problem, zero problems with Clinton and other people, whether left, right, or center, like facing consequences for their ties to Epstein. But Trump needs to be on there too. And he's clearly just doing this because it allows him to, steer the narrative into whatever he wants it to be. I mean, for God's sakes, in this article, they also bring up the birthday note, I believe. Or regardless if they do or not. Like, did people just forget about this? It's like, it's so obvious. Like, this note that came out, like, during the summer. It's so obvious that, like, they had a connection when it came to, like, the pedophilia. But apparently, to some Republicans, what went down wasn't pedophilia. And this comes from Megyn Kelly, who, even though she says that she, isn't trying to excuse what Epstein did, you would only say this if you were trying to.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like, he liked...
He wasn't a pedophile, he was an opheliophile, which is something you only say if you are trying so hard to excuse, even like just excuse someone being attracted to minors. Like, debate bros do it all the time, Destiny's fans do it all the time, libertarians, like people who want to see age consent laws be dropped lower, that's what they do. This is the argument that they make. It's something you would only do if you are either trying to excuse pedophilia or if you kind of want it to be a little bit easier to commit it.
15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen type.
Guys, he wasn't attracted to children. He was just more attracted to more developed children. Like, it's so gross. It's so gross. Like, because, like, even if you aren't trying to run a defense for this, you still are. That's what you are doing. And I think she definitely is. That's the thing. She definitely is. Because the more that comes out, that shows that Trump obviously has ties to Epstein, they are going to try to excuse this more and more. And this is just the start of it. Like, they are going to try to just, brush it off. Being like, whatever. They were 16-year-olds, they were 15. They were close enough. It's like when, like what Dr. Disrespect did came out, and a lot of people who were trying to defend him was just like, what if she was 17 years old and 11 months? It's like, okay, wait a month? And still, that's gross, because you're like a 40-year-old man. Like, it's still weird. It's still weird. Like, they're going to try to excuse this all they want.
Types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn, now they call it child sexual abuse material, on his computer.
Like, even her saying that, it's just like, why does it sound like you have such a problem calling it what it is, instead of like a kind of gross shortened version of it?
That for the first time I thought, oh, no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified.
Yeah, now she doesn't think he's that bad because they're a little bit older. He's like, oh, I thought it was so much worse. Like, it's so gross. And here's the thing, too, like, not that long ago, as this poster, brings up, back in 2018, she literally says there's no consenting for a 14 or even a 17-year-old. But now, because, it's pretty obvious that the current sitting president of the United States likes them young, they gotta try to defend it somewhat, just in case, like, there's ever there is hard-boiled evidence that they had a connection. But, like, if it ever comes out that he literally did one of the girls, knowing fully well what age they were, they're going to defend it like their life depends on it. And, going away from, established right-wing voices in the media, this is what the debate bro right-winger has been doing.
Are you asking me why it's wrong, children?
Yeah, I need you to tell me why it is wrong in your eyes
To
do that.
Yeah, so this is Dean Withers, who is a very liberal podcast, a very liberal debate guy. I don't really care for him. He was the one of the online Democratic online liberal voices that was he's very much like a if you know who Harry Sisson is, I would say they kind of have a similar view. It's a weird one. It's very established Democrat views. That's it. They like Joe Biden. A vote blue no matter who, even if it's Zoran Mamdani, who's obviously the popular figure in New York when the election was going on. And now they have to run defense like they were always pro Zoran the entire time. But regardless of that, here we have a random right-wing debate pro who, and here's the thing, again, this is a nobody, but the fact that it's just insane. It's still insane.
Yes. Do you need me to repeat it? Can you not hear me? Yeah.
And the fact that he just openly says this and is surprised that Dean is taken aback, the fact that he openly said this and is not understanding why Dean would be taken aback by it. You just said something crazy, man, as if it was common.
Too many talks in your ears, or what's up?
And a little bit only gets worse.
Why is it wrong? Is that too hard of a question? You can mute me with the background noise if you want. I'm ready to hear your answer.
It's happening. It's actually happening.
That pearl clutching is so beta.
That pearl clutching is so beta. That's what he said. Oh my god, you don't think we should fuck children? That's pearl clutching. That's so beta. Just saying that, I feel like should send you to prison. Not actually, two of the things that you said should send you to prison. The first one being, can you tell me what's wrong with fucking children? Something that, the question that he asked Dean. And the second one being that pearl clutching is so beta. Both of those should throw you in jail. Oh my god. Who even says beta anymore in a serious context? Unironically. I feel like that died out with the red pill. That's been it's still around, but it's not as prominent because probably a bunch of people realize that it's not gonna get them laid. At what point are you just so deep into it? But that's not what we're here to talk about. But yeah, that was crazy. And also what has come out of this entire Epstein stuff is this email. You've probably already seen it. You've probably already seen this post. It's possible that Trump might have sucked off Bill Clinton. Which makes this story kind of funny because it kind of makes it a lover squirrel if you think about it. Trump's just being a jealous ex. But do I think this is true? I don't know. I think it's funnier if it is. So I will wholeheartedly go with that line because I think it's just so funny. Even if it's not real, can we just all act like it is? Because I've seen so many great jokes come out of it too. I'm gonna be honest, it's so fucking good. However, the funniest thing I would argue that has come out of this has been Alex Jones' response to it.
There's no video of President Trump sucking a ding-dong. And so what if there was? That's a lot better than World War III, Owen. I never sucked any ding-dongs. But I'll tell you, if they were going to blackmail me to start World War III about one, I'd say, hey, I sucked a golf ball through a freaking garden hose.
Didn't you ever tell Der Spiegel that?
No, the son of a bitch walked in there in my own office when I'd splattered stuff on myself and I was changing shirts. He goes, oh, that's a good shot. Let's get your shirts. And then he goes, I go, hey, have some of this chicken and sausage. So technically I said, Jones offered me his sausage. Yeah, give me a break, you son of a bitch. I like women, not men. And if I like men, I'd be proud of it. I'd have a lot of them.
I'd have a lot of them. Probably one of the funnier things and that I seen come out of this. Also, what came out of this new round of Epstein stuff is Marjorie Taylor Greene and Trump beefing. They've been beefing, and I'm not really gonna get into this sort of stuff because she quit. She literally stepped down. She stepped down as a representative from her district. So she's no longer gonna be a position of power. Who cares? If anything, I mean, it wasn't just a beef between them. It was a beef between, a shift that's been going on in Republican spaces, which was very much highlighted when Tucker Carlson had on Nick Fuentes. And with this like feud between Green and Trump, it was really like playing into that because, she was obviously focused on getting the Epstein files out. And this was when Trump was really trying to, divert people's attention away from it until he eventually just had to give in because he knew that A, he wasn't gonna be able to fight it forever, and B, he probably realized that he was gonna be able to manipulate what's in it. But the reason why I'm not going to go in depth about this Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff is because, like, she had a great hand to really force this stuff to come out, to honestly weaken the current administration. And that's really the only reason why I was, like, kind of pushing for her. Only in the sense of, like, she's a useful idiot that I think people on the left could have used. And I don't mean, like, by directly associating themselves with her or shit like that, or, like, publicly supporting her, which I did see some people do, which is so fucking stupid. I mean in a sense of, like, just let her do what she needs to do to weaken this current administration, but keep yourself at a distance. So, her leaving kind of fucks that up, of, like, dividing the right more. So that's like that's the only reason why I'm disappointed that she stepped down. Other than that, good riddance. She sucked. Like, she was like, this was literally like the only issue she was kind of good on, was like pushing for the Epstein files to come out and being anti-Israel. But even then, I'm still not gonna give her credit for that. She's still an awful human being who should never have been in a position of power to begin with. But that's really all I gotta say. I mean, it was terrible. Like, all of this is terrible. There's some, like, stuff that we can definitely make light of. Stuff that's just, like, egregiously bad that we can make jokes out of. Like the funniest thing is that, like, the possibility that Trump might have sucked off Bill. But even then, it's like, I don't really necessarily care. At least that's just two grown men having sex. Like, this whole thing should be focused around, like, Trump possibly fucking children. Like, it's so gross. Like, I'm all for the jokes all you want, but like, I still think that people should always keep in the back of their mind, and I think they do, in all fairness, that like the sitting president is probably a pedophile and that he is going to do everything he can to make it seem like he's not. But like, I just don't know what to really say. Like, our country is being ran by a pedophile, and it's just like, we really need to, I feel like everyone needs to take a step back and really realize how we got here. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. Like, what can you say? Like, even thinking for a second, like, we're currently being ran by an administration headed by a pedophile. It's so, like, it breaks your brain, or at least it does for me. So I guess I'm just gonna leave it here. Like, how did we get to this point? Hello everyone, thank you for watching today's video. If you would like to see other videos like this, please leave a like and subscribe down below. If you would like to hear me talk about a lot more nerdy subjects such as anime, comic books, video games, movies, and even pro wrestling, you can check out my second channel, The Fruit Basket. And if you would like to see me play video games, I have a channel called FruitySaur Gaming where you can check out those videos there. Anyways, that's all I have for today, and I will see you all next time.